Welcome to another episode of the Read Pile. This is something that I've been wanting to get to for a very long time, probably on the scale of 10 years, but WARSHIP Jolly Roger, I think I noticed this via Amazon. Somehow it's been on an Amazon wish list, originally in Spanish, I want to say. Magnetic brought it over, translated it. Lion Forge? I'm not honestly sure which. One of them bought the other one. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of publishers these days. But it's been translated. Each of these is about 115 pages. This is a complete series. I'll talk about this for a quick tangent. I feel like if this were an American in English series, that they would have stretched out the middle. Basically what happens here is this guy, he's one of the main characters. Four of these are the main characters. They start the series by breaking out of prison. They steal this ship, and then he's after revenge. Not her. He's after revenge, and I feel like that's where they would have stretched it out, right? After he gets a ship, but before he gets revenge, they go on a bunch of random missions. This is kind of straight and to the point. It's kind of refreshing to get to the end of series. Like I said, these are 2 volumes that are about 115 pages each, so it's about 230, 200, slightly more with back material. But let me show you the art. It's, I think, fantastic. So it's this very animated style. It's very cinematic. And there's talk in the back about how and why it looks that way, and it's because the guy has a history in animation. Concept and design, so there's a bunch of stuff like this at the back. There's this original pitch as well, where the characters look largely the same as to the finished. But for prisoners, this is the prison break. This is where he gets his eye shot. Why he has a eye patch on the cover. Boom, right there. It's great. There are some problems though. So let me say, this guy here, main guy, eye patch guy, Munro, right? U-O. There are at least 2 instances where his name is misspelled. One of which is right here in the beginning. This is page 12, and there it is with 2 O's. And at first, because it was so early in the series, I'm like, do I not know what his name is? Or is he speaking with an accent? Like, what is happening right now? And then it happens much later in this volume as well. I don't think there's any grammatical spelling issues with this, but there's a separate one I'll get to. There's another instance in here where there's an extra double quote in one of these text boxes, and I feel like all of this should have been caught beforehand. But there's at least 2 instances where the main character's name is misspelled, and then there are some other grammatical issues as well. What happens, however, is there are these text boxes that establish time. And so the present is roughly this 3852. There are some flashbacks to show prior events, to establish character background, stuff like that. About halfway through this, though, the year skips to 3853. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they're establishing that time has passed, that more time than it seems like has happened is... So there's a flashback to 48. But at some point, somewhere in here, it skips to 3853, and then it remains 3853 for the rest of the volume until you get to volume 2, when suddenly, story-wise, things have happened, except the year has changed back to 3852. And I'm like, what happened? And I don't know, I mean, 3852 again. So maybe it's a translation issue. I don't think it should be. But certainly the editor should have caught this. And this in isolation, volume 2 in isolation, seems correct. I think whatever issues, spelling, grammar, year, are in volume 1, but still it's not a good sign. The rest of the series, though, is great. It is recommended. It's just, there are some weird things that should have been caught during editing. So, it's 2 volumes. This cover is a slight spoiler for something that happens, but out of context you won't understand until you get there, and then it's no longer a spoiler. Montllo is the artist, Runberg is the writer. He's also a translator. There's a bit of history at the back here as far as their careers as well. He translated and adapted the Millennium books, which I had no idea, but I guess that happened, so that's impressive too. I want to check out Orbital. I want to check out some of the other stuff that they've done, but here let's talk about previous work. Spain, moved around, award-winning, and now he teaches. There's a description, there's whole quotes, right? And I think space opera gets thrown around more than it should. To me, anything short of the Meta Barons is not a space opera. This is a small cast on a small number of planets, and it's more, I think, like Firefly than, I don't know, anything else really. But it's a small crew on a stolen ship trying to get revenge against the president of the Confederacy, and apparently the human population of the universe is a Confederate. I don't know. It's a little weird, but we get a little bit of galactic history, get some sciencey stuff with what's going on with the kid, and then there's some politics stuff. These two are on opposite sides of the war, and it's all very good. Highly recommended. The art's gorgeous, writing's great. It's if you can overlook a couple of grammatical mistakes, highly recommended. I loved it, and I'm glad that I finally got to read this. I really need to check out more of what Lionforge Magnetic have done, what they've brought over. But this is a great purchase. Highly recommended.